Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Off season in sports, no chance. We're going long on this show, Dan. What do we got?
Yeah, what are you talking about? What is an off season? Are you kidding me, baby? We are locked and loaded. It is Dinger Tuesday. That's right. What home run headers are we looking to sprinkle a little money on? But we got play of the day coming your way. Two terrific guests, two of our favorite here. You get them every Tuesday. Jesse Schule with the Fade God, letting you know which teams in MLB you need to be fading. And then Ross the Boss is breaking down some teams with some new looks. Tariq Skubal, it will be on the mound tonight for the Dodgers. What does that mean other than the fact that the Dodgers are $2 favorites again? Shocker, shocker. Andy and I are going to get into what the hell is going on with the 49ers. We got NFL futures to get into. But Andy, it's the top of the show. It's time for the Wager Talk Today play of the day. Aaron Nola went a little too deep for us last night, Andy, but we're getting a winner today. Where are we going?
Yeah, he did a great job on his pitch count. He was getting guys out with few pitches, and they let him go just over. But I'm going to come back to another under on the outs props. Under 16.5 for Grayson Rodriguez. Has only gone over this number once this season, and he can have high pitch counts, and he just doesn't get guys out quick, and he's not going over this number. The Angels did not play yesterday, so the bullpen is fresh to relieve him when Rodriguez has a high pitch count. They actually pull him a bit early the next game. This was a trend. So, for example, against Texas, he had 97 pitches. Next game, they pulled him at 88. And the first game out of the All-Star break, they pulled him after 47 pitches. And he had 98 pitches in his last start and only 15 outs. So I just don't think he's going to get a huge workload. Baltimore is a good matchup for him. They got beat pretty bad the last couple games. They did have yesterday off to reset. I don't trust Rodriguez to go that deep when the Angels are not playing for anything these days. Give me the under 16.5 outs for Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that we're saying, the Angels will probably underperform, you have my attention, Andy. So let's go under the 16.5 outs. We're going back to this out prop, Andy. I like this one. Let's ride here, brother.
Yeah, we got an out prop for $5 Tuesday. It is $5 Tuesday. All plays are $5 up at Wager Talk. So we've got an outs prop. Coming off a loss last night, my guy, I had an outs prop on the over, and he had a high pitch count and got pulled early. So we're back to a 21-7 run on those. But before we get to Jesse, we got to talk about the 49ers. This is a story that I'm getting a little fascinated by. So if you don't know this story, the 49ers practice facility is right next to this electrical facility. And the 49ers are having a lot of injuries. And the rumors started last year that is this electrical facility weakening the muscles and the tendon. I mean, Dan, it's right on top of them.
Dude, it's not like I'm no expert on electrical substations, but I will say, Andy, it's not like it's a power line sitting next to him. Like, this shit is pumping out electricity. So let's like, people are like, oh, does it really matter? Does it not really matter? Andy, the floor is yours, but the photo speaks for itself. It's larger than it's two of the fields and then some, Andy.
Last year, I thought it was ridiculous. I'm not there yet. I'm just saying the injuries are already piling up here for the 49ers, and maybe this is like QAnon. All right, I might owe QAnon an apology. They weren't right about everything, but they weren't wrong about everything. Listen to this injury report list. So Ricky Pearsall's already out for the season. That poor guy. I mean, your career, this poor guy, he's been shot and now he's out with a PCL. Kittle is already on the PUP list with his Achilles. Christian Kirk now has a calf strain. Those go over well. Isaac Grendo placed on the PUP list, pectoral injury. Michael Williams, active PUP list, knee injury. Mike Evans, walking pulled muscle. He's already sitting out with a quad strain. But here's the other thing. Are we just glossing over this Kyle Shanahan thing? Have you seen these quotes? He's saying because of his severe concussion with the car accident, he's having trouble making decisions. Like, does he want a lunch or a sandwich?
That should work out well on fourth and short, Andy. Do I want a hoagie or do I want some fish and chips 4th and short here. Make your call.
Yeah. He can't be around loud music. When they play music in the locker room, he has to leave. Constant migraines and, quote, trouble focusing. Dan, we do really well in these MMA sports where there is trouble outside of the sport. This has trouble written all over it. This Kyle Shanahan thing is a disaster waiting to happen. This team feels cursed. I like the under on the season win totals. This just does not seem like it's going very well to start the season. So I'm keeping my eye on this one pretty big, but the combination of the Kyle Shanahan and all the injuries. And by the way, I consulted with AI. There is no proof that this is a thing. The electrical falls off like almost instantly from the electrical grid, so it doesn't actually reach the field. There scientifically, there is no like correlation. And by the way, the 49ers have just as many injuries as other teams. So it's happening to the skill players of the 49ers, but it's an interesting story.
It feels more like a voodoo doll situation than like an actual, but I'll say, Andy, would you rather practice next to a substation or would you rather play on the turf at MetLife? If you had your choice,
oh man,
substation or MetLife turf, which are you picking, Andy?
Plush grass next to the substation. Yeah. Oh no, I'm taking the substation, but I'm just I'm practicing on the other side of the field. Like I'll take the south end. You guys, special teams can take the north end. So that's why I asked Claude and not ChatGPT. So I'm one step ahead. So, all right. Well, let's bring in. Nothing was worse than your veteran stadium. Remember that stuff where it was just a thin layer of carpet on top of concrete?
That veteran stadium should have been condemned long before it actually was. The cracks all over. It was literally shag rug, like you said. It's not ideal.
Not ideal. All right, let's bring. How about that, Jesse? I'm there's a fade for you. I'm fading the 49ers due to electrical grid and a coach that doesn't. That's a severe. This season starts in a month. You're telling me he's going to be completely healed?
This is right in my wheelhouse, Andy. I love a good conspiracy theory. The power company is definitely paying off to cover this up.
Listen, I used to think conspiracy theories were ridiculous. I'm just saying I have a little bit more of an open mind now these days. I'm not ruling everything out.
It's been a rough few years for you then, I guess.
That's listen, I'm not a guy that's 100%. Like I'm open to change. I'm open to adjusting. And like I said, I've owed some people some apologies over the years. So, you don't owe people apologies. You just tell them certain teams suck, and we're gonna fade a few of them. And then we're gonna do 2 MLB teams, and then I just love this college football future that you're bringing here. You guys are not gonna want to miss this one, but we got to start with MLB. We got 2 teams we're gonna fade. We're looking at Minnesota. Why are we fading the Twins?
Well, Andy, bear with me. I can barely hear you. Looks like the internet connection is a little unstable. Can you guys still hear me?
We still got you loud and clear, Jesse.
You're good to go. So you can just do the Twins and we hear you crystal clear. Or do we have him crystal clear? You know what that was? Right, well, that was ChatGPT and AI jumping after him. They heard his
it was the substation. That was substation related. Jesse, we'll get a quick refresh with you. Let's see if we can get Jesse back. The Thailand internet, not what it once was, Andy.
No, let's go over the baseball trades while we're waiting for him to log back in here. Get some thoughts. And honestly, in the chat, I'd love if you liked what your team did or what your team did not do. So let us know. Here's my notes. The Cubs added Clay Holmes, Kevin Gausman, a couple others. They gave up prospects. They're going all in. Padres acquired Casey Mize and Robbie Ray. Guardians actually did something. Foster Griffin and Nathaniel Lowe. They notoriously don't. Yankees go after Luis Garcia Jr. and Ramos. The Red Sox give up some big-time prospects for Rutschman, and they're going all in. The
Yeah.
Rays, the Rays, don't they do this every year? Just casually pick up Liam Hicks and Peralta, and it's just like nobody's talking about them. They're just casually leading the division. Cardinals added outfielder Frias and Ragsdale. Brewers do nothing. Braves don't do anything major. I guess one of my questions to you, a lot of people freak out about these prospects. What's the hit rate on these prospects? It feels like it's not that high.
Trust me, it wasn't that long ago that all Phillies fans were talking about how they had the #1 farm system in all of baseball, and how did that work out for you? So they're exactly that, Andy. They're prospects. They're green. You don't know what they're going to be. Sure, sometimes I'm sure that there's someone who's a much tighter baseball grinder than you and me that probably has, a hit rate on what are pitching prospects like, what are young first basemen like, things like that. As far as the trades that you mentioned, the one that kind of surprised me, Orioles just saying, yeah, take Rauschman, like in division. I thought that was really the surprising one for me, that they were happy enough with the prospects that they were getting back in the fact that they like what their return was. And like you said, Andy, it was a lot that was given up for Rauschman. Good move there by the Red Sox. I think for the one that benefits both parties the most, that was probably, I think, one of the biggest trades of the deadline for sure.
I did like what the Red Sox. I don't know if I like giving up those prospects, but at the end, what if those prospects don't pan out? Are all three going to be awesome? No chance. That's just not how it works. But boy, they got a good year with this league that they're in. They got it's anybody's chance. It's anybody can make it. So I don't know. I guess I like going in sometimes, and then other times I'm just like, keep your prospects. I guess I would say I did like what the Red Sox are doing. Of course, you got to like what by the way, what the Dodgers are doing. We go up to Detroit and we get Tariq Skubal bobbleheads. Is this thing worth more or less now?
We got to check the eBay price. I'll look at that, Andy. I'll do a little research for you and see what we can do.
I was like, I'm not going to open it. That way I'll just sit on it. And like then he gets traded like 2 weeks later. So I don't know. Let's see if the bobblehead's worth more or less. All right, let's bring in Jesse. Jesse's back.
Jesse.
Oh,
maybe he'll pull a Verlander and he'll end up back in Detroit.
That'd be great. Then it's worth way more. So, all right, we started with the Minnesota Twins. Jesse, give us your reasoning why we're fading these guys.
Yeah, I think everybody's probably going to look post trade deadline and say, these teams that are struggling, these last place teams, let's fade them here down the stretch. But sometimes teams with nothing to lose play their best baseball when it's no longer important. And I think this might be the case when the Twins take on the Royals in Kansas City. Minnesota comes in as a road favorite. And I got some interesting trends for you guys because the Twins coming off back-to-back losses at Seattle. They've won just 4 of their last 10 head-to-head versus Kansas City, but they're just 2-8 against the spread as a run line favorite in those games. Now, if you look at the Kansas City Royals, they've lost 7 of their last 10 games overall, but they've covered the spread as a run line underdog in 7 of those 10 games. You got Joe Ryan going for the Twins, and you got Randy Dobnik going for the Royals. Ryan has nice numbers overall, but he's 1-2 with a 5.48 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's faced the Royals 3 times this year. He's 0-2 with a 5.63 ERA against Kansas City. I like Kansas City as the dog in this matchup. I know a lot of people don't like taking run line dogs when you're betting on the home team, but history between these teams, we've seen a lot of one-run games. I will take Kansas City plus 1.5 in the Minnesota Twins versus the Royals.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. I think it's going to be tough to judge some of these teams, and then there's others that I think are going to be cash cows that are going to be pretty obvious bet-ons or bet against moving down the stretch here. We got another team that we're going to favor moving down to Texas. What do you not like about the Rangers?
Well, how about the line, Andy? They're a 2-1 favorite at home. This is a team with a losing record. This one, I think this line is way out of whack. San Francisco, obviously one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. They've only got 5 wins in their last 10 games overall, but we're going with that recurring theme. 5-5 straight up, 8-2 against the spread as a run line underdog. They've actually won 6 of 10 in the last 10 head-to-head meetings with Texas. They're 7-3 against the spread in those games. If you go back, San Francisco's last 16 games overall, they're 14-2 against the spread in their last 16 overall as a run line dog. San Francisco loses a lot of games by 1 run. And I guess the reason for the price, one of the reasons is you got this rookie right-hander, Blade Tidwell. This is just his 3rd career start. He's only pitched 12 innings this season, an ERA of 3 and a whip of 1.08. So we're rolling the dice with a rookie here. But you look at Mackenzie Gore, and you look at him as a 2-1 favorite. He's 1-2 with a 6.41 ERA in his last 5 starts. And if you look at his last 8 starts, Texas is 4-4 in those games, but they're 0-8 against the spread as a run line favorite. The 4 games that they did win were wins by 1 run. I will take San Francisco as a run line dog in this matchup, Andy.
It's the time of year in MLB when you start looking at these teams that traded guys and say, they're bringing up young guys. Let's see what they got. And sometimes those guys play much harder than the original starter. So interesting stats on the run lines there. We got to get to your college football game. I want to tell you, tell us about $5 Tuesday. All handicappers can put up a $5 play. We want to get this out of the way before you rip into North Carolina.
All right. Well, I do have a $5 baseball play. And if you go back the last 2 seasons, I'm number 2 in profit with Major League Baseball at WagerTalk. I got no idea who number 1 is. So if you're the number 1 guy, raise your hand. But I know I'm the number 2 guy with 65 units of profit the last 2 seasons. And really looking forward to the rest of the baseball season. I've cashed 10 of my last 13 plays, so we're kind of feeling it. We're in the zone, and we're expecting to cash another $5 Tuesday winner tonight.
All right, $5 play. Jesse's got one up. Love this play. I love where you're going with this. Talk to us about your college football best bet.
I mean, at first glance, you look at North Carolina. They hire Bobby Petrino as the offensive coordinator. They won 4 games last year. Their season win total sits at 4.5. And you'd like to think, well, Bill Belichick can get them to 5 wins, surely. But when you start breaking it down, and what is their path? How do they get there? It becomes a little bit tough. And I really don't like the idea of starting the season overseas in Ireland. We've seen this in recent seasons with Florida State. Both teams last year underachieved. The teams that played in Ireland, Kansas State and Iowa State, both of them underachieved last year. Remember Nebraska and Northwestern that one year, and both those teams were just an absolute dumpster fire for the rest of that season. So I could kind of see that happening to North Carolina. But as I said, if you look at their schedule and you try to find a path to get to 5 wins, to go over that 4.5 win total, I've isolated what I would consider to be, based on season win totals of their opponents, their 5 easiest games. And we'll start with East Tennessee State. Okay, we'll give them that one. And they got a home game against Syracuse. I mean, we'll give them that one, but it remains to be seen whether they're actually better than Syracuse. And then it gets a little tricky because you got a road game at UConn. I mean, UConn's pretty tough these days, and playing at UConn is no picnic. And then their next most winnable game is the Ireland game. They're a 7-point dog in that game against TCU. And then in amongst their 5 easiest games, they got a road game at Duke. I mean, that's pretty iffy. Can they go on the road and beat Duke? They're going to be a significant dog. If you were setting that line today, you would set them as a significant dog. And then you look at the rest of their schedule. I mean, their home games against Notre Dame, Miami, NC State, and Louisville. It's tough to see them winning any of those games. So I think 5 wins is going to be a daunting task for Belichick. And if things go off the rails early, if they lose in Ireland, I expect this season to be a lost cause.
I'm with you. Mike Lombardi got in trouble. Belichick 74, Petrino's 65 now. Like, isn't college football a young man's game? Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. This
I think
doesn't
Bill
feel like
Belichick and Bobby Petrino might think college football is a young woman's game. They both tend to have the same
well
attitude
played.
about that.
Well played. So, one of the things I can't believe the most about college football is when Bobby Petrino did that press conference in the neck brace with the road rash. Like, why you would show your face in public like that? You are forever memed, my friend. So, good breakdown, Jesse. I didn't even have that on my radar, but you definitely got some agreement in the chat here. So Robert says he's got the under. RJ says he doubts to get to 5. So great breakdowns, Jesse. Good luck on your $5 play. Thanks for bringing the fades every week. Continued success, and we'll find out who's number 1 in MLB the last 2 years.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep, anytime. $5 Tuesday. We actually got 3 plays up today, Dan. We've got we'll start with the MLB. We got a pitcher prop that's up 21-7 run on that. That's $5. We have a tennis play that is up that starts here in a couple hours. So for live viewers or people that are just watching this, it starts around 3 p.m. Now these tennis plays can move times. So I can't guarantee 3 p.m. is going to be the exact start time. It is -143. It's a parlay. So if you're not comfortable with laying juice, don't get it. I do it all the time in tennis. And then we've also got a $5 play for UFC. 7 straight UFC winners, and we got an event this Saturday. We did a $5 play in UFC last week that hit, so we're going to come back to it. And this one is a pretty good size underdog that I think the price is just completely wrong. So get this thing locked in the week in case it moves. So we got MLB, tennis, and we've got UFC all for $5 up at WagerTalk. All right, Ross, get in here. Do you know who's number 1 in baseball the last 2 years?
I know I'm up there. I don't want to say I'm number 1. I know I'm up, I don't know, over 77 units since last May. So I don't believe I'm number 1. So
I was going to say you or Brian Leonard. I was going to say you or Brian Leonard.
Yeah,
or
Brian.
Maybe even Tokyo Brandon. But I think
Drew is very good in Major League Baseball as well, So
yeah.
Could be any one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you guys talk some MLB. Can't wait to hear your breakdown on this first one, Ross.
Yeah. I mean, Ross, this is definitely one that we got to get into because we finally have the trade that everyone is bitching about, Ross, and that is Tariq Skubal. He's a Dodger. It doesn't matter when they're going to pay him. He's playing for the Dodgers. They're above $2 favorites here, Ross, in Tariq Skubal's first outing in those Dodger pinstripes. How are you looking to bet this one? Because the handicap's an interesting one. You have the new guy coming to town, a little bit of a distraction, but does it bode better that they're actually on the road for this one? What do you think, Ross?
Well, the rich get richer, right, Dan? You look at when the Dodgers starting pitching rotation gets healthy, boy, they're going to be a tough out for anybody. But in any event, we got Tariq Skubal going up against the Cubs' Javier Assad. And right now, the Dodgers, as expected, with Skubal on the mound, a heavy favorite at -210 to -220, depending on where you're looking. Javier Assad has made one start against the Dodgers this year, and it wasn't a very good one. He only lasted 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 6 earned runs on 7 hits while walking 2. The Dodgers' current active roster, not a huge sample size, but effective nonetheless. 8 for 16 against Assad is his current active Dodgers roster, with a .500 team batting average, .579 on base percentage as well. The Dodgers, over their last 7 games, Assad's going to have to face a team that's hitting .293 with a .337 on base percentage over the last 7 games. So certainly it looks like a tough matchup for Javier Assad facing this Dodgers lineup. The Cubs are coming off a 10-6 win yesterday and over the Dodgers, but they're 0-3 in their last 3 off a win. And in those 3 losses following a win, they only scored a combined 4 runs. And the Dodgers come in on a rare 4-game losing streak. They haven't had a 5-game losing streak all season long, guys. And as a matter of fact, the previous 2 times they lost 4 in a row, they came back with a win in both of their following 2 games. And that was, and they outscored their opponents in those 2 games, by the way, after a 4-game losing streak by a combined 8 runs to 1. We mentioned Tariq Skubal, and yeah, it might be a distraction, I guess, but I don't think it'll be a distraction for Skubal because he's been in excellent form. Over his last 6 starts, a 1.95 ERA, an 0.78 WHIP, 8.3 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. Look, I'm not going to lay this big number with the Dodgers, but I just think the Dodgers would have the huge starting pitching matchup advantage in this one. And I think the Dodgers are going to come up big tonight after losing their last 4 in a row. I like the Dodgers here. I'm going to lay the 1.5 here at odds of -130 at Wrigley Field against the Cubs.
The pitching gets it done and the bats get it done, says Ross the boss. Don't be scared. Lay the 1.5. Ross, we'll talk Tigers Mariners here in just a second, but first, let folks know what you have rocking for $5 Tuesday. At the end of when we're talking, we'll let folks know about what's going on in college football this year. But as far as what's going on right now, Ross, what can folks find over your page, WT.buzz/RB?
I got a $5 winning total in Major League Baseball tonight, folks. My totals in all sports on a 33-19 run with my last 52. That's 64% plus 37.38 units. Major League Baseball premium picks overall. We're looking at 34-24 run, 59% over, up over 33 units in net profit. And Major League Baseball over the last 448 days, plus 72.62 units. So I don't think I'm number one the last 2 years, but I'm on a pretty good roll over the last, 14 months in Major League Baseball.
I love it, Ross. Let's keep it going, brother. And let's talk 2 teams that look quite different here, Detroit and Seattle. Interestingly enough, it's only a half game that these 2 teams are separated in the standings, yet completely different approaches to the end of the trade deadline. I mean, Tariq Skubal, you kind of mentioned it there with the Dodgers. That's a huge one, but people are also not really thinking about the Casey Mize trade away for the Detroit Tigers as well. Kind of not waving the white flag, but certainly seeming like they're planning for the future a little bit more than this season. For Seattle, they had a reliever, they had a right-hander, and then they also kind of had a bit of a jam in their hitting rotation. So they actually shipped Luis Castillo to the White Sox. So a lot of change for both of these teams. How do you see it shaking out here on Tuesday?
I just don't know if it'll be a huge factor in this matchup tonight. I mean, it's going to affect the Detroit starting rotation. They're not going to be anywhere near as good without Mize and Skubal. But, at the end of the day, Detroit's playing good baseball right now. And right now they're undecided as who's going to be the starting pitcher tonight. So not only have they traded 2 of their starting pitchers in the last couple of days, but they can't decide who they're going to use tonight. Seattle's going to go with Emerson Hancock, 9:40 p.m. Eastern time from Seattle. Right now, the Mariners are -130, money line favorite, Detroit at +120. Emerson Hancock's been in really good form in recent starts, but the bullpen for Seattle has struggled of late with a 5.60 ERA, 6 home runs allowed in 17 2/3 innings pitched over their last 6 games. Seattle's won their last 2, but they're just 2-6 in their last 8 when coming off back-to-back wins. And the Mariners have dropped 8 of their last 12 overall. Detroit, on the other hand, they were horrific to start the season on the road, but boy, oh boy, has that turned around a lot of late as the Tigers have won their last 4 and 12 of their last 15 road games. And you know what? Skubal and Casey Mize don't get at bats, folks, because there's a designated hitter rule these days, and pitchers just rarely hit, if ever. But the Detroit lineup right now, over their last 5 games, they've averaged 11 runs per game, 14 hits per outing, and hit 11 home runs. And it's, if you look at the disparity of the home runs hit by Detroit over the last month and a half or so compared to how they started the year, it's night and day. Detroit has scored 8 runs or more in each of their last 5 games. They're 5-0 on the road this season when coming off back-to-back games in which they scored 7 runs or more. And the Detroit bullpen, last 24 games, 2.92 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. And usually when you see undecided next to a team in terms of what their starting pitcher may be, it usually indicates bullpen by committee. Not always, but Detroit's numbers in the bullpen over the last 24 games certainly comes into play here. And Detroit had yesterday off. And by the way, the Tigers, a perfect 8-0 in their last 8 games when coming off an off day. So I'm going to go with Detroit here, plus 120 over the Seattle Mariners.
Ross, the boss, Benjamin, 2 MLB free plays for you right there. And Ross, we do, before we let you go, have to talk about what you do year after year in college football. We're actually cooking up, folks. Hit that like button and hit subscribe because we're cooking up some good content with Ross coming here in the near future for you football heads. But you don't even have to ask Ross how good he is in college basketball. You can ask Robo.
I'm the #1 college football betting expert the last 3 seasons. Get my 2026 college football annual package for just $499 at WagerTalk.com.
There you go, Andy. It's
Robo Ross, baby.
My
Anyway,
favorite.
yeah,
I love Ross. Ross and Robo Ross. Oh man, I couldn't get better.
Hey man, gotta adjust and evolve. You know what I mean?
But all joking aside, Ross, #1, you do an awesome job with it. And #2, it ain't going away anytime soon. So got to adapt, as Ross said.
Yeah.
And that's not the only great deal. Obviously, take advantage of that full season. But if 2 handicappers is your thing, a football combo that you have up with Ben Burns, who cashes year after year as well. So tell the folks about both of those offers, and then we can send you on your way, Ross.
Well, since you have this one up, you're going to get all of my college football and NFL, all of Ben's college football and NFL this season, right through the national championship game and the Super Bowl, if you opt to do so, which I don't know why you wouldn't, for $899, folks. And if you combined Ben Burns's NFL over the last 3 seasons and my college football over the last 3 seasons, you see it right there, a combined plus 300.83 units of net profit. And putting that in perspective, if you're just $100 a unit player, you've made over $30,000 over the last 3 years by playing Ben's NFL and my college football. If you're a $500 a unit player, a big player, you've made over $150,000 over the last 3 years of net profit. So $899. You're going to get my college football, NFL, Ben's college football and NFL right through the Super Bowl national championship game. My college football over the last 3 seasons, I'm a combined 182 or 120, 60.3% winning rate. And during that over that 3 seasons, plus 155 plus units of net profit. And that ranks #1 at WagerTalk over the last 3 years. And also in college football, that is. And also last year, I'm coming off my best year of the 3, as I went last year, 53-31, 63.1%, folks, and made a net profit of 75.99 units. My college football, NFL combined last year was #2 in all sports right now. We talk about sustaining consistency and winning. Well, I've done so over the last 448 days, Andy, plus 195 units of net profit, and that includes 72.62 units of net profit in Major League Baseball. WT.buzz/RB college football. I mentioned all my records, $499. That's it. Early bird special, folks. Take advantage. It's going to get you all my college football picks right through the national championship game. And again, myself and Ben, you can get college football, NFL from both of us combined over 300 units in net profit over the last 3 seasons. You can get that for $8.99. Thank you for giving me the time to promote all that.
Whether it's the boss or Robo Ross, we love it, my man. We appreciate you. Check him out, WT.buzz/RB. That's Ross, the boss, Andy. And nobody does it quite like him.
Nope, he's the best. He's the best. So somebody asked in the chat about the White Sox and the Red Sox. Tough handicap. Looking at these pitchers, I kind of like the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings. You got Davis, Martin going against Sandoval. Martin got rocked last game, but he was perfect through 5 innings. I believe he just had one blow-up inning late, and Sandoval's not been too bad recently. Boy, the Red Sox are playing so well, but the White Sox, no slouch. No slouches. What, they won 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6. So I would go under. I think the pitchers are good enough to hold this under the 4 or 5. I'd expect maybe a 2-1, 3-1 type of game at the end of 5. So that's a lean. Certainly not a play that I've played, but try to do this on impromptu. That's the only thing I can come up with. So
That's why we appreciate the comments, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask away. Anything you want. So all right. You ready to show us your dinger, Dan?
Oh, I've been waiting. It's been 2 weeks since we've gotten to show our dingers, Andy. Well, you've been showing them the last few weeks. You actually hit your last one. Let's do it. It's Dinger 2.
Yeah, I'll go first since I hit mine. Max Muncy last Tuesday gets there. I'm going to go to the Houston Astros, and I'm going to take chalk, but with the 50% Dinger Tuesday boost, that gets to 346. This is an Astros stadium that gives up one of the top 5 most home runs. Now, Alvarez might be one of those reasons since he's got about 35 home runs this season, but 26 are against righties. 26 out of 35 are against righties. Now he faces Yusevich, a righty, 19 of those at home, and I'm going to play it. Dan, he's due. He hasn't hit one in 5 games. Yusevich has given up 10 home runs, all 10 in June and July. All 10 just in the last couple months. So he's given up some dingers. So I'll take Jordan Alvarez to get his 36 of the year.
See, I clearly wasn't paying attention last week, Andy, because you hit on Max Muncy, who he's kind of been up. He's kind of been down a little bit. He's not on that great of a run, but we're looking at plus 400 for Max Muncy to go yard tonight. We were just talking about that Dodgers game. Ross was saying he likes the bats in this game. He's comfortable laying a 1.5. That means there have to be some runs stacking up. And while Max Muncy isn't particularly hitting the ball great, past 10 games, still the power has been there. 7 total hits. 3 of them are home runs. So let's get Max Muncy to come back into form. Assad is also the pitcher that he's going to be facing. Not particularly great against lefties this season. So Max Muncy hit for you last week, Andy. Max Muncy's hitting for me this week. 4-1, Max Muncy. That's my dinger. Comment below and let us know who your Dinger Tuesday selection is.
Absolutely. All right, let's hit 2 in a row here. All right, we're going to close out the show with our NFL future of the day. And we are well, first off, we fixed which teams Cam Scatterwood plays on. The viewer selection for Friday has been filled. We're going to break down Colston Loveland. But for today, receiving prop future, we're going to Dan's Eagles and talk about Dallas Goedert. Over or under 574.5. I'll go first here, Dan. You know this team inside and out. Last year he played 15 games, 60 catches, 591, so very slightly over. 2024, only 10 games, 42 catches, 496. 2023, 14 games, 59 catches, 592. 2022, 12 games, 69 catches, 702. Why do I bring up those numbers? Those are all the years that A.J. Brown played with the Eagles. The year before A.J. Brown got there, 830 yards, career high. Sean Mannion comes in as offensive coordinator, and the way that he describes his offense, the tight end is, quote, not a luxury, but as an engine. So, Jalen Hurts caught a bunch of shit last year because he looked so awful at times, but he had a career high in passing touchdowns. He had 3,224 passing. That's the 4th best rating in QBR of his career. So it was not the worst season statistically here. It just, the eye test, some of the times the offense would come to a like screeching halt.
Yep.
So I kind of like this offense. I think this is a fresh restart with AJ Brown out of there with a new offensive coordinator. For the career, he averages 11.4 yards per catch. My worry is some of these numbers about how many games he played. 15, 10, there's a 12 games in there. You got to pencil in that he's going to lose a couple of games. But when he plays and when he's healthy, he's going to be a big target. I got an over on this one. I think this number is too low for Dallas Goedert. Where'd you land it?
Well, and Andy, let's be clear too. Yes, he misses games every single year. It's just his frame playing tight end. He's going to miss games. However, you mentioned 12 games in 2022, 702 yards. You know what I mean? So even when he is going to be out for some games, the production is always there for Dallas Goedert. He was just a touchdown stalwart last season, and I think it's only going to hop up with Sean Mannion. All of these players are talking about how he's a bit of a mad scientist, the way that they're moving players around. Everything that they do in the offense has motion. That's a stark contrast to what the Eagles had last year. And you mentioned with A.J. Brown, without A.J. Brown, the bigger piece of that puzzle is games in which A.J. Brown missed, which meant that Devontae Smith was moving to the outside. Devontae Smith eats up middles across the target because he was a slot type receiver. Now he's going to be playing that number 1 wide receiver role, which allows Dallas Goedert to work much more freely in the middle of the field. I like Dallas Goedert yards over. The one that I like even more, Dallas Goedert receptions over. I think he's going to be a Tucker Kraft type player for this offense. You know that Mannion likes that type of tight end that just works. Yardage over. I like Dallas Goedert a lot. For you DFS players, for you fantasy players, I think he's a later round tight end that you're going to get production out of. I'm bullish on Dallas Goedert, not just because I'm an Eagles fan. I think he's going to be a huge part of this offense that should see a big step up here in production in 2026.
Yeah, there's one more thing I want to point out about this particular total, 574.5. Okay. Once a year, he has a game where he goes ballistic. Last year, he had a 110-yard game. 2024, he had a 170-yard game. 2023, he had a 117-yard game. 2022, a 100-yard game. There's going to be a game where he gets a fifth of the, or a sixth of the way there just in that one game. A lot of it garbage time, end of the half 2-minute drill where they're just like dumping it off. But he's going to have that big monster game he does every single year. So I love these low totals like that. This was very similar to the Blake Corum rushing total. It's like, it's like 670 yards. He has 2 big games. Like this thing's a lock. So, all right, we're lockstep on Dallas Goedert. So
I love it.
All right. Big show. And we did not even go long. Thanks to Jesse. Thanks to Ross. Thanks to the 49ers for providing all the content today. Thanks to the trade deadline. And thanks to you guys for joining us here. $5 Tuesday. All handicappers have a play up for $5, at least one play. And Dan, Hall of Fame game's almost here, which means Survivor is almost here.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're gearing up. So tell us how one of you can win $21 million.
Yeah, and we'll get into this as football season comes closer. Andy and I have entered in. We are in the splash contest. So $1,000 entry, up to 150 entries allowed per person. I don't know who has the bankroll to put 150 entries in at a grand, but this is $21 million prize. This is one that, in our sports betting space, Andy, there has been much conjecture, much consternation over this contest because, well, Circa already does the big million. Well, in this instance, 35 states and Canada, you're entered in. No proxy needed. If you're in a state where it's legal, I can tell you, you can sign up. If you're in a neighboring state that's legal, Pennsylvania, you can drive to New Jersey. You can sign up and still make your picks in Pennsylvania. This is going to be one of the hugest Survivor contests. I'm in it. Steve Merrill's in it. Andy and I are in this together, obviously. So we are going to have a bunch of different Wager Talk personalities that are joined into this contest. You should join as well. And if you use that password Wager Talk, $100 back that you can use on any other contest. So you're basically getting, an entry for $900, and you get to play another contest and potentially pay off your entire entry. Splash is a great resource that we're excited to partner with. So check it out. 21 million. Who wants in? Andy, what are you going to do with your 10.5 million?
So we're partnering up, I guess. All right. We each have separate entries, but you guys know how we work together on these. So how am I going to spend mine? Man. Let's see. Well, I'll probably be hosting the late afternoon version of Wager Talk Today, so I don't have to get up early and do all this damn research.
Wow, I give you credit that you're still going to host. That's amazing. That's a man of the people right there.
Yeah, I'll have to bribe some people to where this starts at, I don't know, 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern. So, Johnny brings up a good point. The biggest knock and the reason why, like, people like Dan and I don't join the CertCons. I love them, but you got to live in Vegas, or you got to have a proxy, or you got to fly out there. And one of the funniest things is how people pay and then don't enter it and then don't realize you need a proxy, and then a bunch of people don't enter in week 1, and you're just like
exactly
what's going on here. So,
and this is a point here. There is no trap. This is Splash Sports, 100%, no hotel, no fee. That's what the JD is pointing out. Yeah, it's all on your phone. And if you're in a legal state, and like I said, if you're not, you can still sign up in a legal state and you can make your picks from anywhere in the world. Kelly's going to be making picks from Ireland, I'm sure. So Kelly's in it. Andy and I are in it. We got Steve Merrill. We got all kinds of Wager Talk personalities who have ponied up, and we're putting our money where our mouth is. So check it out. SplashSports.com. Again, folks, use that code WagerTalk. You get $100 back you can use on any content.
Kelly's going to be wrecked at the bar in Ireland, bitching to the bartender that she can't pick the Fighting Irish in the NFL Survivor.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So, will you remember us when you're both millionaires? Based on my performance in past year's Survivor pools, we don't have to worry about that. But you never know. But dude, this is hard. So it's all. Do they do the thing where you have to pick Thanksgiving as well?
Yeah, we'll go in and we'll read the fine print and tell you guys the rules if you're interested. So we'll do that on some of these future weeks. Let you know the double pick weeks, the fine print, because that is super important when you're signed up, especially when you're putting your money where your mouth is for $1,000 entry. You want to know what the rules are before hopping in. So we'll give you all of the rules, all the rundown. I just wanted to get that promo code out there because if you're mulling over joining a contest, a Survivor contest, and you want a big money entry, this Splash Sports one is an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I can't wait for Survivor. So, but just think about it. You have to pick now 19 and 20 teams on a week where they win.
It's tough. And you're gonna have to get creative. You know what I mean? Because I'm not letting the Thursday night favorite, who's a 19-point favorite, screw me in week 17. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get creative in this contest because there's going to be a hell of a lot of smart people you're competing against.
Yeah, you're just praying that good teams are sitting all their players in the last couple weeks that they've locked up playoff spots early. You're come on, big injury.
Here we go, Cardinals.
To go down.
Here we go.
So, all right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Don't forget the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. What are you doing? Over 250,000 people subscribe to the channel. Good luck on $5 Tuesday. Get as many plays as you want. Bet responsibly. Don't want all of our bankroll on some $5 Tuesday plays, but do want some. So we'll regroup and be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck on your bets. Take care.